Welcome back to 1 Million Pumpkins Ranch for more public displays of homesteading. And it is 1 week before the county fair, so let's see what we've got that I could possibly enter. Let's see. Down this row, we just have some new plants. Melons and cucumbers and fava beans and lots of lettuce. I think something came and ate all the broccoli. I could probably enter some fennel. They have a class where you can put some stems of herbs in a vase and enter those. And let's see. Yep, I definitely can enter some fennel. They also have a floral bouquet category. Now these are beets, and I think they're actually finally ready, so I will be pulling those up on the morning of. And if I have a plate of 5, I'll enter those. And I'm definitely going to enter this flat leaf parsley, 1 bunch in a vase. So these fava beans and lettuces are growing nicely. Those are frost tolerant. Oh, look at, we have ripening Cherokee purples. These are not the prettiest, but maybe I could enter them in the heirloom category. They also have entering 3 different kinds, 2 tomatoes of each of 3 different kinds. And you can enter both green and ripe. And I just happen to be growing 3 varieties of tomatoes. These are the Amish pastes. That's a Cherokee purple. And then I, of course, have the Gardener's Delight cherries. Those Gardener's Delight are starting to ripen. And as you can see, I'm mostly up to date with trellising. I think we're going to do well with tomatoes this year. And down this row, I deadheaded the zinnias in order to have long stem fresh ones. And I think that's going to work out. They seem to last really nicely as cut flowers. I have a vase of the ones I trimmed on my sewing table. So pretty. And then here's the Armenian cucumber. For that, you enter just 1 fruit. And I kind of moved these so that they could grow as as straight as possible. This garden companion, Fledermaus, is just, she's just overly friendly. And she keeps tripping me. You silly kitty. Looking at the pepper row, I have some that have oddballs. That's a one-off. But down here, a nice cluster of Anaheims. There's only 2 poblanos there. I think you need 5 to a plate. That's just a baby. Something put blemishes on these, so I can't enter those, but paprika is fresh from the garden. And I definitely have plenty of Anaheims to enter. The watermelon will not be ready for the fair, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 watermelons setting on the vine. These zucchini are supposedly Black Beauty, but they look more like the gray stripe, and they're staying pretty small. But even though they're small, they're still coming out like a few per week for us to eat, so that's nice. And down here, this turned out to be butternut squash. There's a few on there. Lots of little ones. This first one might turn ripe in time in a week, but I'm not betting on it. You only have to submit 1. that squash plant probably has a better chance. Yep, this crookneck has been pumping out beauties like that one. And we'll probably have the required number. I can't remember if it's 3. And my corn is tasseled and silked and ripening on this first row, but they're all pretty tiny, not really contenders. Nothing too mature on these cucurbits. I've been pulling very small straight necks off of this. That could maybe create a plate of 3. And then I do have more zinnias starting to bud in this area. Another butternut plant with some interesting pollinators down in there. I love that there's some volunteer tomatillos mixed in with the corn and the beans. Now this pole bean, it's covered with flowers. It might produce enough beans. Well, they have to look better than that. Oh my lord, it's been such a dry year. At least a few of the pole beans are doing what they're supposed to do and climbing up the corn stalks. And, you know, I might get the required plate of pole beans to submit to the fair. As for the tomatillo pits, I am fairly certain I can glean 5 good ones. They're starting to ripen. Still battling the cucumber beetles. The little purple ones seem to be ripening fastest. And they don't have a category specifically for tomatillos, but they have peppers other. So I could probably submit under that class. I do have a lot of plants to choose from for the tomatillos. Here's some more of the little purple type. And this is the first time I've had success with garden marigolds on the property. So I could add those to the mixed bouquet. And this sprawling behemoth, it's got to have a few good fruits. We'll see. So diligent watering has made this garden area green, and it is a daily stressor to get water home on our dilapidated hauling trailer, pump it on our failing pump, and then deliver it to each plant. It's a pretty stark difference between inside the garden fence and outside, because we haven't had really any monsoon rain, and all the pastures are dry as a bone with no green grass. I just keep planting though. And things do keep germinating. So I've got a row of pole beans here on the trellis, and there are radishes in the middle, and then I did plant herbs and cabbages on the outside there. Water it and they will grow. Raspberries are doing great. Both of them are really putting on new growth. We've had some troublemakers who keep hopping over the chicken wire portion of the garden fence and destroying things in here. So they're sequestered now. What little I did have in this patch, they scratched up. Oh, lettuce going to seed. And trying to save water, so have not really expanded as much. This borage I deadheaded. That might enter the fair. It's got such lovely blue flowers, and it's got lots of them setting freshly since I deadheaded. And then here, this lettuce is delicious, but it's not really fair worthy. And I deadheaded the lavender in the hopes that it will produce enough shoots to be part of the mixed bouquet or herb bouquet. It's going to be a short-stemmed version. More tomatillos. Nice tall basil. Been keeping that pinched back, but that could join the mixed herb bouquet. And here, these Anaheims are kind of funny shaped, and they're starting to ripen. I think you can enter them green or ripe. There's two categories. I don't know if I want to enter curvy ones. I think they would like to see straight ones. Finally getting some growth on the rosemary. And doing well with these bell peppers, even though the troublemakers came in here and did some damage. Tomatillos and mint. Thai basil. More tomatillos, yay! And oregano. I do wish I had 5 of these bell peppers. They're looking good, but no such luck. Not this year. And there's a class for a sunflower seed head. Could this be the one? These peanut plants just seem to be kind of in a stasis. They really don't like the arid weather. They want to have the humid south, but they've got the arid southwest instead. Jerusalem artichokes are also thirsty. I have to water them daily. This front row seat just, I don't know if I'm getting some beetle-borne viruses, but these bean plants are terrible. The okra didn't grow, and the companion plants I planted in between did not grow either. The mixed bouquet can include wildflowers. I wonder how they'd feel about a silverleaf nightshade being incorporated into that flower bouquet. So I think I do have a few things I can enter this year into the fair, including 5 yellow onions and 5 beautiful big garlics. And I'll show you something else inside. I've been working on these overalls for a while now. I joined the sewing group in town, and I was able to stretch out and cut a muslin, fit it, and now I am working on the finished product. I'm calling them the barn door overalls, because if I stand in front of the barn, I will disappear wearing these. Alright, well, I hope this video finds you well. Thanks for following. Cheers and blessings.